Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Cartridge Fun. It has been a long time since I put out a video. I'm really sorry. A lot of things have been happening. Working on a new job as well as just being sick. Finally starting to get my voice back where I'm not hacking up along. So happy to be back with you guys. Thank you for being so patient. I have some really great videos planned. Hopefully they get out in the month of March. So just stay tuned, be patient. I wanted to share with you guys in this video everything that I found for the month of February. Now February started off pretty slow. I was actually only picking up Switch games at the beginning of the month, and then I finally came across a few retro games. So let's jump right into it. So the Switch games that I picked up, the first one I picked up was Rocket League. Now this is a game I've been playing a ton. I've been really enjoying it. I have zero Rocket League experience, but it's been really fun. I was kind of concerned about the online play. If it would be over my head and too difficult, and people would get upset with me because I'm a rookie. But really the community has been fine. You don't really interact with your players that much. So it has been really fun, and I've had quite a few matches on that. I actually think I'm at like 60 to 70 matches, which isn't a ton, but for the amount of time I've had it, it's a ton for me. I also picked up Wonder Boy: The Dragon's Trap. So this is a Nicholas release, kind of a remake of the Sega Master System, I believe, release, and it's really cool game. Got some really cool graphics, kind of an interesting, quirky storyline. But one of my favorite things about Nicholas releases is that they actually load the cart with stuff. They actually put a keychain in there, manual, as well as the soundtrack, and just not a lot of Switch games have been doing that, but the Nicholas releases have, and so I'm really excited to have that in my collection. I'm probably about 75% through the game, I think, off the top of my head, but I've definitely been really enjoying that game. And then the third Switch game that I picked up was Bayonetta 2. So this is the one that came with Bayonetta 1 as a download, and I don't have any Bayonetta experience, but I've been really enjoying this game. It looks really cool. It's playable, just a really interesting, weird storyline, but I'm not too far into the game, but it's been a fun one to play nonetheless. And then about a month ago, I mentioned probably in my last video that I did some video game hunting with Ryan, Vidja Gamer, Andy, Video Game Experiment, and Andy has an online store that he has, and I decided to pick up some games from that store. He had some things that I needed for my collection, so let's jump into those NES games. The first one I picked up is kind of an uncommon game. I've never come across it before, and that's World Champ. A little dirty, not too bad. It's definitely cleanable, but very excited to have that one in my collection. And then I also picked up the Chess Master. This is a very common game. I've seen it a few times. Just never picked it up, but decided to grab it this time. The price was right. And then this is another kind of a game show release for the NES, and that's Win, Lose, or Draw. Kind of a filler title, not expensive, couple dollars. And then I also picked up Stealth ATF. I've never played this game, but for some reason it sticks out in my head. I'm not sure if I played it as a kid. I can't really remember, but it's an Activision release. I don't know much about it, so I'm gonna have to jump into that game fairly quick. And then another game that I'm not too familiar with, I've seen it maybe once before, and that's Seacross or Cycross. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that, but the label on this looks absolutely clean, very minty. Happy to add that one to my collection. And then another game that I've kind of passed up a few times, not sure why, but I wanted it in my collection. This is a Bandai release. This is Dino Wars. So just the cover art alone speaks volume. It's such just a weird looking cover art. One that I haven't played, but I've seen some YouTube videos on. Definitely wanted it in the collection. And then the final game that I picked up from him was Pinball Quest. So this is a Jaleco release. Out of the pinball games for the NES, this is probably my favorite. I did rent this game a few times as a kid. Like I said, out of the pinball ones on the NES, which I think there might be like 3 or 4 pinball games, that one is definitely my favorite. Now, we came to an agreement on those games, and it was kind of an odd number, so I was like, well, what could we do for a nice even number? And he decided to throw in a Sega Genesis to even out the number. Now, you guys know I've never had a Sega Genesis before. I've been a big Nintendo fanboy for my whole life, and so definitely excited to add this to my collection. I think you guys saw in the last pickups video some of the Genesis games I got. I think I got 2 or 3. I finally have a Genesis to play them on. I have a controller, all the hookups. It also came with Sonic 2, so definitely excited to kind of jump into the world of Sega a little bit. Now, what I find is interesting is everyone has opinion on which games are great. You guys on Twitter were definitely helping me out. I got a massive list from you guys on what games are ones that I should check out, which ones I should avoid. So thank you guys so much for that interaction on Twitter. Definitely excited to jump into the Sega Genesis a little bit. And speaking of Sega Genesis, I got another game. So Superhero Game Squad, it's a fairly large YouTube channel. Of course, the link is going to be down in the description below. But they were doing a giveaway, and I guess they pulled my name out of a hat, and I received a game out of their collection, and that game is Ghostbusters on the Sega Genesis. I know nothing about this game. I've heard some people saying some fairly decent things. I'm not sure if that's sarcasm, but it kind of looks interesting. I'm excited to jump into that. Like I said, all this new Sega stuff has things pretty exciting for me. And then I did some video game playing. Ryan, aka Vidja Gamer, came over. We played some video games, and he brought a couple of things that I didn't have in my collection that he thought I should have. And one of them is my first Aladdin compact cartridge, and that's Linus. I've never seen one of these before. They're not that great. I don't have the deck enhancer, the Aladdin deck enhancer, but maybe that's something I'll be looking for in the future. Just kind of an obscure game to add to my collection, but very, very happy to add that. And then he also gave me my first ever Famicom game. It's not a great game, but it's Twin Eagle, and this is complete in box. Just really cool to have my first Famicom game and actually see it compared to my other NES games. Just so much smaller in the box, and just really cool to have. So thank you so much, Ryan, for those. Definitely excited to have them into my collection. And then to kind of finish out the month, there was a video game sale going on. It was kind of buy 2 get 1 or something like that. And I came across a few NES games I didn't have. I didn't want to go too crazy because the prices aren't always that great. They're pretty retail. But I did get a few good deals. The first game that I picked up was Volleyball. So this is another black box game. This is a 5-screw. I'm not sure what that puts me at as far as black box games, but I definitely have a decent amount. That's one I didn't have. Happy to add that one, and the label looks very clean, so excited to have that one in my collection. And then this is an SNK release. This is Mechanized Attacks. This is a Zapper game, and just the cover art alone, again, just looks so insane. Definitely excited to try that one out. I'm sure it's not that great, but it's one that I haven't come across before. Definitely happy to add that one to the collection. Now this is a game that I've been looking for quite some time, and that is Disney's Tailspin. This is a Capcom release, and typically anything that Capcom does is pretty good on the NES. The graphics are great, the music is very interesting, the gameplay is really fun. I've been enjoying this game. It is very difficult, but it is a very fun one to play. So happy to add that one to my collection finally. The price wasn't amazing. I think I paid $10 for that, which is probably pretty eBay average. But when I saw it, had to get it. And then I had a coworker saying that I needed to try out the game Lolo. He said it's the greatest puzzle game out there. I never had an opportunity to pick it up or play it, and so definitely excited to add those to my collection. So I got The Adventures of Lolo, the first one. Not bad label, looks pretty good. I have not played it quite yet. And then I also picked Adventures of Lolo 2, which is a little bit more expensive. I think I paid $15 for this, not really sure, but it is a HAL release, which is really awesome. And they put out a lot of good titles. So that's kind of all I had for the month of February. Not a ton, but definitely enough. As always, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Check me out on Instagram and Twitter, and just stay tuned for more videos. I'll catch you guys later. See ya.